Ukraine has already deployed Flamingo-type missiles against Russian territory, but this is not the only Ukrainian development capable of reaching distances over 1,000 kilometers, said Ukrainian MP and head of the Ukrainian delegation to NATO PA, Yehor Chernev, on the Espreso TV channel. He confirmed the use of Flamingo, noting that further details fall under the competence of the General Staff. According to him, the confirmed hits more than 1,000 kilometers inside Russia and the damage inflicted there indicate the existence of such missiles. This is not the only missile used by Ukraine at such distances against the Russian Federation. We have many different missiles with various ranges, including Palyanytsya, Peklo, and the same Neptune. And now, I hope that Sapsan, a ballistic missile, will also complete its testing, unlike the previous ones, which were all cruise missiles, he said. Yehor Chernev emphasized that various weapons developments are underway in Ukraine, each with its own purpose and specific uses. According to him, the country is now producing not only missiles, but also so-called missile drones. The MP clarified that there are already several dozen such deep strike systems capable of delivering deep strikes into Russian territory. Each of them has its own specifics, in particular being designed to effectively overcome Russian air defense systems and to place additional strain on them. But believe me, we are developing, and more products are appearing, not only Flamingo, but others that strike the territory of the Russian Federation, the Ukrainian MP said. As Glavred wrote, aviation expert Anatoly Krapchinsky noted that although the Flamingo missile has a relatively simple design, it has significant modernization potential and could, in its characteristics, approach the American Tomahawk. In Krapchinsky's view, the Flamingo is a promising and economical solution that could become an important asset in the arsenal of Ukraine's defense forces. He also compared it to the Tomahawk, stressing that further technological developments opens additional possibilities for the Flamingo. Flamingo, of course, is not the American Tomahawk, which can change its target during the execution of a combat mission, but it can become that. Composite materials, the appearance of its own engine, etc. All of this lies ahead, but we need something to strike Russian territory with. Let's start striking already, the expert said on the program Fabrika News. Recall, Ukraine has begun using FP5 Flamingo cruise missiles to strike Russia's energy infrastructure. According to The Economist, these missiles are significantly faster than drones, fly about 50 meters above the ground, and have a range of over 3,000 kilometers and carry a 1,150 kilogram warhead. Rifat Chubarov, head of the Majlis of the Crimean Tatar people, said that pro-Ukrainian residents of occupied Crimea hope that the Flamingo will be used to strike the Crimean Bridge. The newly developed cruise missile, with a declared range of around 3,000 kilometers, has considerable potential, even if its real capabilities turn out to be lower than stated. It is capable of inflicting serious damage in the European part of Russia. According to The Economist, it took only about 9 months to put this missile into serial production, rather than years or decades. The question of the United States providing Ukraine with Tomahawk cruise missiles seems to have been resolved. Media reports say Washington has signed a deal with the Netherlands to send at least 200 such missiles that, under NATO arrangements, may be transferred to Ukraine. Who will operate these weapons and for what goals remains unclear. Valery Zaluzny, the former commander of the Ukrainian armed forces, said Kiev still hopes to achieve progress in its conflict with Russia by modernizing its military, as he noted that it will soon form cyber forces and space troops. Ukrainian military expert Valery Ryabik said that Tomahawk missiles may soon be supplied to Ukraine. And while Russia will eventually adjust its rhetoric, for now the Kremlin has only one mode of communication: Wunderwaffe narratives and theatrical displays. Regarding Putin's threats, the latest argument was the Oreshnik, which the Kremlin used in an information operation, allegedly deploying it in Belarus. However, no one has actually seen these systems, and even if they were deployed in Belarus, it would have no military significance, only informational value. For example, to strike European targets with medium-range Oreshnik missiles, there's no need to place them in Belarus at all, Ryabik explained on Espreso TV. According to him, Tomahawk missiles could indeed be provided to Ukraine, and Russia will then figure out how to react. Russia may respond to the Tomahawks much as it did to Finland's accession to NATO, claiming it's not opposed and therefore accepts it. The same will happen with the Tomahawks, and later with the recognition of Russia's defeat in the war against Ukraine. The Russians will eventually adjust their rhetoric, but for now they must rely on what still works for them. The Wunderwaffe narrative and other show-offs, as Putin himself once called them, in order to sustain their dialogue with the world. However, we can already see that the global community is paying less and less attention to what the Kremlin or Putin personally says. Ryabik added, judging by the geography of recent attacks on Russia, the Ukrainian armed forces appear to have been given approval to strike not only the distant areas in Russia's Volga region, but also targets beyond the Urals. But it is not an exception that the main target is Moscow. I think the US may accelerate Tomahawk Block V-type missile deliveries to Europe and later to Ukraine amid the Pentagon's aim to test those in combat. Retired Russian colonel and military expert Vladimir Popov told Nezavisimaya Gazeta. Furthermore, on October the 7th, Ukrainian parliament held the first reading of a bill on creating cyber forces in Ukraine. Ukrainian troops are being upgraded rapidly. Popov continued. In 2024, drone units were formed within the Ukrainian army, and in 2025 it established assault troops and a special air defense drone command, with cyber and space forces coming next, he said. The expert believes this reform warrants close attention. Ukraine is still preparing for continued combat against Russia, and the United States and its NATO partners have been supporting Kiev throughout. There should be no illusions about this, he concluded.